Hey Cancer, how's it going? This is your reading for July of 2017. My name is Dre. As you can tell, I moved. I haven't quite figured out the setup yet, and you guys are my first video. So, yeah, I'll hopefully find a better setup for all this. But yeah, I already laid out the cards for you guys to save time. And so, let's just start. We have the Seven of Cups reversed. The Chariot reversed, Nine of Swords, using Tarot of the Illuminati, of course, the Nine of Wands, two nines, the Five of Pentacles reversed, the Empress, the Devil, the Moon reversed, Temperance, and the Alchemist or the Magician reversed. Outcome, we have Three of Swords. Overall theme or whatever, we have Two of Pentacles. It's also like advice. So happy birthday for all the Cancers. That's why you guys are first. First thing I see with this reading is that's interesting that we have two of your cards here. We have the Chariot, and we also have the Moon, which, you know, is traditionally ruled by Pisces and Tarot, but Cancer rules the Moon in astrology. We have two nines, and five major arcana, six. This entire bottom row is major arcana. And I really drew those cards for like support for these cards here, and I do see that there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of heartbreak. There's a lot of just everything you probably feel like Cancer season is kind of really putting you through it. It's hard for you guys to probably feel in your element right now. And that is because of the cardinal cross we have going on between you guys, Libra, Aries, and Capricorn. I brought up probably in every video. But yeah, and it's tough because now we have not only Mars here, Mercury just left. So it's all this, the sun is here obviously. So it's all this sort of energy that's sort of bringing you back, dealing with things that, you know, revolve around your family, the ones you love in your life, the things you cherish, you know, but also back within yourself, back into needing to comfort and care for yourself. And so a lot of you've probably withdrawn deeply from probably a lot of the sort of turmoil that's around you. A lot of the probably, you know, if you feel like your life is like in chaos right now, I feel like you guys are really trying to come, you know, you're still kind of there nursing these hurt wounds. You're in a very stressful environment right now where you feel like you can't really get out of it. Like, especially if these are like thought patterns, because we do have, I mean, we have the Nine of Swords and Three of Swords is just tough. But we also have the Nine of Wands. So I feel like that for some of you, it's just like there's another person in particular, there's just a situation or environment in general that's really tough for you to deal with. And it's really tough for you to extricate yourself from that. And it's tough for you to sort of see outside of yourself to understand what's really happening. And a lot of you with this Devil and with the Chariot here, especially in reverse, and even next to this Moon in reverse, it's sort of like half of you is sort of aware of sort of the unhealthy patterns that are going on in your life. You know, constantly thinking about an ex, you know, worrying about a heartbreak, sort of letting your anxiety get the best of you. Some of you probably aren't sure where you're. Like, a lot of you really want to make a move. A lot of you want to get yourself out of this, but it's difficult for you to do so because you don't see any clear ways out. This fantasy, this Empress here is only a dream to you right now. You can only hope to dream about, you know, how to get yourself out of this. But I feel like that's important. I feel like it's important to sort of understand that clarity right now is difficult to come by. But you do have pain. You do have actual real life experience. You do have an understanding, at least a knowing of what is making you upset, of what's making you hurt so much. And it's crucial for you right now to know how to address it and know how to come to a point to where you say enough is enough. To understand like what anxieties have you been nursing. Obviously it's over a heartbreak, an ex, a loved one that's no longer in your life, probably somebody that's just a constant disappointment, somebody that's just tough to be with, somebody that you feel like, again, like I feel like I've probably given this reading to you before in some capacity, Cancer. All of you guys have like similar, you know, I mean, each sign, the readings, I feel like are just so, there's such a similarity between them all. Between all the signs, but, you know, month to month with each sign itself. And I feel like there's a part of you that's unwilling to take action. Or yeah, at least you don't know how to take action because you don't want to upset this balance. This balance that you perceive to be actual balance when in actuality it isn't. It's a situation where you are forced to sort of go along with the rules. I feel like a lot of you are either if you're married, for instance, I just feel like, you know, just because the fact that you're married, you're just living up to that. You know, besides looking at yourself as an individual person that deserves, you know, to have, you know, be able to make your own decisions and act upon them. For others, it's, yeah, you're giving your power away to somebody that's charismatic, somebody that you have a history with, somebody that you haven't, again, made your mind up on because there's something about them that you're just incredibly drawn to. But whenever you're around them, your life gets fucked up. Or whenever you think about them, your life just gets a little bit worse. So, and right now, everything's up in the air. I will say the best path for you right now, Cancer, it's important, again, this advice card here, the Two of Pentacles. Try to retain some balance. Try to look at your life realistically. There aren't any Pentacles at all here, besides the Five of Pentacles, which I didn't bring up, which I will actually. There's this need for you guys to actually look at life, look at your situation for what it actually is. And it's tough, especially when you're going through it, especially when you're sort of riding the waves of like your emotions right now, where it's like one moment things might seem kind of copacetic, but then they just sort of slide right back into the abyss, into the mess, and you have to face reality, and reality looks tough to deal with. But that's mainly because I feel like you've neglected to actually, you know, with this Cancer season, with this Cancer energy, and it's very easy for Cancer to do this as well, where you'll put all of your, for any water sign really, yeah, even Scorpio, where it's like you'll put all of your effort and all of your heart and your soul or whatever into one person or into a group of people, and you want to make everything right by them, but you forget about yourself in the meantime. And this lesson here, see, this guy is facing away from this Five of Pentacles in reverse. So it's like there's this need for you to sort of come into a place where you recognize your worth. You have to come into owning your own self-worth. Because I feel like right now you're just taking, you know, so you're allowing somebody else to take the lead of your emotions. You're letting somebody else to play you around, dick you around, and sort of lead you on. And you're following that. And that's what's putting you in this situation where you're just mass confusion. You know, just this reading is nothing but chaos, essentially. But there are just cards here where it's like, you have to understand that you have to, one, hold yourself accountable for your own actions. You know, we can play the victim and we can do the pity party thing, but ultimately we have to come to a place where we have to recognize where we've been a fool, where we've been wrong, and not down ourselves about it, but learn to get better out of it. You know, understand that, okay, well, you fooled me 5 billion times, but you know what? The 5 billion the first time, I'm going to actually do something and make a move for myself and not be fooled again. You know, I don't want to go through all that pain again. I don't want to have to relive that. And, you know, this person, they're going to be hard to break away from because the devil is something, it's like, I mean, in one end, it's what brings people together. It's what wants us to, like, party with people, have sex with people, just want to actually, you know, go into our animal nature with other people, and it's a part of ourselves that we can't really identify, or really, it's hard for us to divorce that, to what's the word, like compartmentalize our animalistic nature and our human nature, when they're the same thing, they're melded into one. So it's important to understand that you do have these desires, these obsessions that are with you for a reason. They're not to be put into, it's not, you shouldn't, your obsessive drive, your obsessive nature shouldn't go into obsessing about what another person is thinking, what another person is doing, stalking their email, or stalking their Facebook or whatever, going through their phone, doing all that stuff, and like trying to get back at them, and trying to, you sort of get off on that thrill. And, that's fun, but ultimately you'll wind up right back, where you started, essentially. You might have found some information, or you might have discovered something else, but at the end of the day, it just made you feel worse. And the other person doesn't care at all. So you're just wasting your time. So it's important to look at the reality of your situation, where you can realistically grow out of it. And it's not that, I'm not saying that, being obsessive is bad or anything, but we could put that energy, we can put that work, and put that effort into something that's much more beneficial, that's much more worth it. And it deals with your self-worth, and it deals with you stepping into your own reality and understanding that people are going to break your heart, people are going to fuck you around or whatever. And, it's okay to feel sad about it. You have to feel sad about it, and you have to feel shitty about it, and you have to go through that, but it's not good to stay there, because you're just going to be staying there, and other people are, sorry, that's just a huge drain on other people. Nobody wants to be around that. And you're draining yourself by doing that. So don't do that to yourself. You deserve so much more. You deserve so much better. All right, Cancer. So have a good birthday season. Have a good, enjoy the weather. I don't know where you guys live, but enjoy the weather. So yeah, and I will see you guys probably in a couple of months, since these are pretty late. Couple of weeks. If you want a reading, email me. So yeah, thanks. Bye.